the pandemic. I got married during the pandemic and started a new job. So I've lasted 3 years strong, but it's great to be back and speaking to all of you today. As Karen said, I am the president and CEO of the organization. Jason Troop is going to push my slides because I can't be in two places at once. Jason is our Director of Sports Tourism and Sales for the Bureau, and we'll talk a little bit about that later on in the presentation. But as Karen said, we are the state certified destination marketing and management organization for Southwest Illinois. Those counties are Madison, Macoupin, Montgomery, Jersey, Greene, and Calhoun counties. And then we also represent the city of East St. Louis and St. Clair County. We've been around since 1985. We used to be called the All Around Alton Convention and Visitor Bureau, and then my predecessor, I think some of you might know, Brett Stawar, he began to expand the organization at the time when I was the director of the Illinois Office of Tourism. So I remember when that expansion was happening, and the rebrand occurred to Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau because of where the intersect of Route 66 and the Great River Road meet. And so the brand is really spot on because everybody knows Route 66 and the Great River Road, especially in the international market. We also manage the meeting of the Great Rivers National Scenic Byway, which is a 33-mile stretch from Hartford, Illinois, all the way up to Pierre Marquette State Park. We also represent literally the last 100 miles of Route 66 in Illinois. That starts at the Verdun-Girard area, just outside of Sangamon County, all the way here to Southwest Illinois, to the Chain of Rocks Bridge in the East St. Louis area. And then we recently launched a new Sports Tourism Advisory Council focused on increasing sports tournaments and development in and around Madison County. Since joining the Bureau back in November of 2020, we have really made it a priority to not only market the destination we have, but also focus our efforts on building a destination that is necessary for our region to attract young entrepreneurs, remote workers, families, and retirees. Really those individuals who are looking for an area that has an active lifestyle with a quality of life benefits. Back in the day in the 80s, we were called a Convention and Visitor Bureau, but in the opening introduction, as I said a few minutes ago, we really serve as a destination marketing and management organization. We have been one of the first DMOs in the country to actually hire an economic development specialist because we understand the type of product that we're bringing to the marketplace has lasting effects on what's going to happen to the quality of life and the well-being of all of us as residents. So we've created two positions that didn't exist when I interviewed for this job back in 2020. And when I interviewed for the job, I told the interview committee that we needed to focus on economic development efforts as an organization and also sports tourism that did not exist in our scope of work as a DMO. And so we've hired an economic development specialist, and Jason is leading the way with a few partners in this room about growing sports tourism in Madison County. We need to build a place where people want to not only visit but want to live. And it's important that the residents of the region appreciate what new product development will do for the quality of life of our local communities and the region, not only on the leisure side, not only on the meeting side, but sports tourism, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. Active living amenities are highly sought after by young families, retirees, and new startups. This isn't just about visitors, small business, and revenues. It's about the livability of our region and the quality of life those visitors bring to us and then leave and we get to enjoy. Southwest Illinois is ideally situated to become an outdoor recreation mecca. Just think about this. Nationally, the current GDP attributable to outdoor recreation is outpassing the U.S. auto industry, big pharma, and many other traditional economic sectors. And with our efforts, the state of Illinois, last legislative session, just passed the 17th office in the country for the Office of Outdoor Recreation. And we're currently working with the Governor's Office, the Illinois Office of Tourism, and the Illinois Department of Natural Resources to shape that office. As we speak, we have hundreds of miles of nationally recognized biking and hiking trails through Madison County Transit and the Metro East Parks and Recreation District. We have three mighty rivers traversing the region, forming a great confluence of rivers that launched a nation with the Lewis and Clark expedition. We are home to the largest state park in Illinois, Pere Marquette State Park in Grafton, and the oldest. We host 2 federal wildlife areas and 50,000 acres of open space footprint with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. We have the only outdoor rock climbing, and I say this to people in the Midwest, and they say, rock climbing? We do. We have the only outdoor rock climbing trail system, and that's at Pere Marquette State Park within a 100-mile radius. The region is home to 2 major water parks and numerous splash pads. We sit right on the Mississippi River National Water Trail, the first national water trail in America, which is being discovered by more and more paddlers every day. And for those searching for nature-based tourism and on the water river adventures, scenic bicycle rides, and hiking adventures, this region is ideally situated to reveal itself as an important active living center. Over the past 2 years, with other regional partners, including mayors, land managers, local, state, and federal elected officials, we have been meeting and are committed to create a regional consortium to understand what a livable region is and can be and how to effectively activate it with those partners. In 2022, visitor spending in the Great Rivers and Routes region surpassed $825 million, up more than 20% from the previous year. And I have a handout on, we have several handouts around the room, a publication that we produce, a Go Guide, and then the long narrow piece is our economic impact report. The tourism industry in Southwest Illinois employed more than 9,300 residents in 2022. Tourism in the Great Rivers and Routes region generated more than $36.4 million in local tax revenues. And in Madison County alone, traveler spending totaled $512.1 million. That was up 20% from the previous year, and more than $15 million in local taxes, up 22% from the previous year. So just ask yourself, what would city leaders around our region, especially here in Edwardsville, do without the visitor economy? How would communities replace the millions in lost revenues that the visitor economy generates that goes to supporting public infrastructure improvements, your local parks, community organizations, festivals, and events? Who would be marketing to visitors that Southwest Illinois is a regional destination, is a great place to enjoy the great outdoors, nature-based tourism, an emerging food scene, Route 66 and the Great River Road? Which organization would sell the region as a good place for tour operators, meeting planners, and sports rights holders to host their next trip or tournament? Tourism marketing, promotion, and development is an investment, not an expense. Our latest ad attribution study indicates that for every dollar we spent on digital advertising in our key markets around the Midwest over the past 12 months, which was about $310,000, the return spend by visitors was more than $2.7 million, which is about an $8.50 to $1 return on ad spend. Pretty impressive. We are also seeing strong increases in visitation and visitor spending from our key target markets around the Midwest, including Chicago, up 20%, St. Louis up 25%, Indianapolis up 15%, and Central Illinois up 28% over the previous year. And over the past 18 months, we have seen a remarkable number of more than 3 million unique visits to our website at riversandroutes.com, with more than 1.98 million page views and time on site averaging about 1 minute and 5 seconds. We are also working locally to support events and organizations who are driving visitors into Edwardsville with our earned media and paid advertising efforts with our partnership with the City of Edwardsville to support local events like Opera Edwardsville, the Criterium, the Edwardsville Art Fair, and other events and festivals right here in the community. And since June, we have hosted more than 20 travel writers and influencers from around the globe to our region, including the UK, Germany, Mexico, and Canada, in conjunction with the Illinois Office of Tourism. Those visits, there were 3 of them, that combined of 20, earned us more than 30 media hits in international markets with an ad value of over $650,000. And we hosted our first regional influencer program with travel writers from Chicago. I don't understand all the influencers, but they're hot and they get the message out. They're way too young for me to follow, but from Chicago, Indianapolis, Kansas City, and St. Louis, who covered everything from the new Urban Collective Boutique Hotel here at Bella Milano, 222 Artisan Bakery, Cleveland Heath, the West End Service Station, and the Wildy Theater, just to name a few. You might already know this, but Route 66 will turn 100 years old in 2026. How many of you knew that? Okay, a few of you. It's a big anniversary. And let me tell you, every corporation, every international media, every national media are really starting to focus on this anniversary. And so to be prepared for the influx of travel that will come to the USA over the next 3 to 5 years, communities like Edwardsville need help in developing product, and we've been right there to support that. Over the past 2 years, our office has supported the city's efforts by providing more than $600,000 in grant project dollars for the all-new West End Service Station, surrounding signage improvements, the Route 66 mural, the Route 66 shield, and the soon-to-be new Route 66 interactive outside exhibit at the Edwardsville Children's Museum. We have also received about $300,000 in marketing dollar support to support communities along the route in key markets in the UK, Germany, Ireland, and Mexico with advertising campaigns with the Illinois Office of Tourism. Projects like this, and hopefully more in the future, are all designed to drive travel to and throughout the last 100 miles of Route 66, while keeping visitors in Illinois staying longer and spending more money in our region. It's all about keeping that dollar here in the state before they bolt to Missouri. And let me tell you, the 8 states that are along the route in the United States, obviously it starts in Chicago and ends in California, are all trying to compete and outdo each other with product development, marketing, and promotion to really get after that sought-after international dollar. In addition to our efforts along Route 66, we are also leading and funding new developments along the Great River Road by creating a 10-unit kayak kiosk rental system at 8 locations in Wood River, Alton, Grafton, Piassaw Creek, Pure Marquette State Park, Pontoon Beach, and Hardin that will be operational by the fall of 2024. You literally pull up, charge your credit card, pop out your kayak, all your equipment, and away you go. And we received $10 million in grant funding from the governor's office to establish a 4,700 square foot byway discovery center at Piassaw Park, and improvements and expansion of the Lewis and Clark Confluence Tower in Hartford, where we hope to break ground on both projects later in 2024 with completion by late 2026. Another part of our strategy for organizing around a livable regional strategy for residents is building a sports tourism product in Madison County. I'm sure Nate is sick of me here talking about sports, and Jason, but it's a major economic engine. I think we're on the cusp of something pretty big here. Earlier this year, we hired the Huddle Up Group, a nationally recognized sports strategy firm that has helped destinations in Florida, Colorado, Michigan, and Nevada, to name a few, plan for their sports tourism future. With our new sports playbook in hand, we recently launched the Sports Tourism Advisory Council, made up of representatives from across Madison County, including sites, community leaders, business owners, park and rec directors, tournament rights holders focused on a shared vision for the region. Part of that shared vision is obviously what's happening here in Edwardsville with Plummer Park. This graphic that's on the screen was put together by the Huddle Up Group, based on their work over the years with regional and national event directors to show the facility needs they require. A little hard to see, but just to give you some ideas of what we need in facility development to compete with a very competitive market. Sports tourism was the fastest growing sector in the hospitality and travel industry, a $50 billion industry in the United States, and that was youth, not collegiate, youth sporting tournaments. The additional diamond development at Plummer Park will increase the total number of diamonds at the park to 10 and pickleball courts to 24. Why does this matter? In addition to providing more usable space for youth athletics and all the benefits that provides the community, there's that quality of life, this expansion project will more than double the economic impact on local businesses in our community. On the next screen is an example of Plummer Park's current economic impact when hosting a softball or 12U baseball tournament. 4 fields can accommodate about a 14-team tournament with about 30% of those teams traveling to the area for the event, which equates to about 323 hotel room nights and about a $210,000 visitor economic impact. With 4 additional diamonds, the economic impact more than doubles when larger events attract more traveling teams. Total spending of almost $570,000 versus $210,000 with 8 diamonds instead of 4, and Plummer Park will have 10. The same is true with the pickleball courts. That's money in your pocket that you would not have seen without this sports complex development. So having the ability to host multiple different events in the community means more overnight stays, more spending in restaurants and your shops, obviously creating more economic impact for the community. The city of Edwardsville, Nate and James Arnold Economic Development are on our STAC committee, and we really appreciate and applaud their efforts of making this happen for Edwardsville and Madison County. In addition to projects and planning, I'm a big believer in planning. And so our organization has not had a strategic business plan ever, or a tourism master plan for the region. As we've continued to grow and receiving more state and federal funds to develop products, I felt it was important that we really rallied around a shared value of priorities in terms of a tourism master plan. And so in August, we announced a new partnership with Whereabout, a Destination Future Studios based in Portland, Oregon, to create a tourism master plan which will set a long-term vision not only for our organization but for the region. Our planning process is already underway, which has included surveys designed to gather input from visitors, residents, small business owners, and tourism partners within the Bureau's 6-county scope. And it's really a part of our effort over the next 4 months to host community-driven processes to create a new plan for the region. We want to hear from stakeholders, we want to hear from community partners, and we obviously want to hear from those who have visited our region over the past 18 months as we plan for the future success of our area. The recent economic numbers clearly show that Southwest Illinois is a growing destination with more people coming and enjoying the area. And so I always like to end on this. And this is a great we're a part of Destinations International. And I'm happy to share this. Every time I make this presentation, somebody wants me to share this slide. But if you build a place people want to visit, you build a place where people want to live. If you build a place where people want to live, you'll build a place where people want to work. If you build a place where people want to work, you build a place where businesses needs to be. If you build a place where business must be, you'll build a place where people must visit. And so with that, I want to thank you for your time today. I'm happy to answer any questions. Please feel free to meet with Jason and I afterwards. We have cards, but thank you for your time today.